I have recently finished creating another new boss fight for my indie exploration platformer, Trials of Imorah, which means, barring some much needed polishing and further playtesting, the main route of the 8th level of my game is complete. Because of my experience creating all of the other boss battles, this one was very straightforward to implement. The telekinetic sorceress known as Imorah has a variety of attacks using both dark magic and ethereal flying swords. The goal was to really amp up the speed and difficulty as we reached the end of the game. The previous boss, Plaguemire, was physically huge, but attacked relatively slowly. Its lumbering motion wasn't complicated to dodge. With Imorah, however, I've aimed for more intensity from speed and rapid variety of the attack patterns. Plus, she will attack faster over time. As with every other enemy though, there will be weaknesses to exploit. The Dark Sorceress is vulnerable to status effects. Being airborne with no grounding, she can be electrocuted, and she can be frozen to slow down her attack and movement patterns. Because of the many options of tools for the player to use, I'm looking forward to the many possible ways to both dodge her attacks and then redirect them against her. I have to make bosses almost overwhelming at this point because of how immensely powerful the player can be after 8 full levels of potential upgrades to both their stats and their equipment. And one such new piece of equipment is Imorah's very own telekinetic swords. They can be used after defeating her and are very powerful, both able to pierce through multiple enemies at once as they spin, and able to home in on a target once they're locked onto. These will remain only obtainable from the Imorah fight itself. In the future, I would like to add more special drop items like this to previous boss fights, to better encourage use of the ability to rematch them via trial stones. Aside from the big new boss fight climactically concluding the new level, I have also worked on more technical improvements and smaller new features. First off, something that doesn't affect the player at all. The save files now use a JSON structure instead of writing to a file in my own tedious, inefficient format. This is more technical than most of you probably care to hear, but basically the benefits of this change is that it's easier to include new types of information to the save file, and it is much more human readable, meaning it can be manually edited. Not that any of you would cheat with your save file, right? But what is most important with this system change is that it's allowed me to fix a major issue with conjuration items. Summoning a familiar or the heat shield, for example, is great, but they would previously disappear when entering a new zone of the game. Now that information has been added to the save file, so conjure and summon to your heart's content. They will all remain when you travel to a new zone, and you won't have to waste your mana reconjuring it. Another system change that I am sure all of you will appreciate is that missed arrows can now be picked back up. For the longest time, I've not wanted to add this feature in the interest of maintaining scarcity and thus value for arrows. However, getting effectively double the punishment for missing a ranged attack isn't the most fun, and I've been trying to balance the bow versus spells. Most playtesters have overwhelmingly preferred using magic over the bow and arrow due to its powerful variety of effects, so making the arrow projectile type be recoverable will hopefully help more players give it a fair chance and want to use it more. Alright, so let's see, what else have I worked on? Health regen potions are now renewable. Previously they were finite in a few chests, but now there's a hidden shop that will sell and barter them. I've added bread. It's a simple food item that's really just helping fill out the stock at different inns. I have also added 2 more side quests. They are relatively simple, but you have more to do and discover on levels 4 and 8. I will leave the details for you to stumble upon yourself. That being said, that's really it for this time though. Level 8 has been amazing to work on, but now with the boss fight completed, I now primarily look ahead to level 9. I've started working on new art assets, and will hopefully have enough progress to properly share with you in the coming months. So, thank you so much for watching and supporting Trials of Imorah. If you haven't yet, please check out and wishlist the game on Steam. And until next time, friends, I'll talk to you later.